Okay, so today we are going to install Terraform. Basically, we need two things to be installed. One is Terraform and another one is VS Code. Now, I think you already have VS Code on this machine. So we don't need to download or install anything for VS Code. Yeah, you have that. Okay. Now, let's download and install Terraform. It's very easy setup. Let me just share a link with you. Download Terraform for Windows. Okay, so we need to download this and then we need to just set one path environment variable so that we would be able to access it from anywhere. So just a second, I'm sharing you a link in the chat. So your screen is stopped.
Yeah, 1 second, Pranati. I'll just share again.
I have shared a link with you. So you need to download that Terraform.
Yeah, sure.
Just open the link. Okay, I'll tell you like where to click. Yeah, just scroll down a bit there. No, not there. On the right hand side window. Yeah, there. Yes, just hold on. So do you see there is a download button there. I mean download link there for Windows. Yes, just click on it.
We have both the things, 386 and AMD 64.
No, this one, the first one. Yes. Okay, now can you go to your download folder? It has been downloaded. Correct. So there is a zip. Just go there on that location in the download folder. No need to open there. Just be here. Now do you see that there is a zip? Now let's take this zip somewhere else. Like let's not keep it in the downloads. Let's copy it or cut it. Okay, and let's have it in somewhere like C:, D:, wherever you can put it.
Is this okay?
Okay, that's fine, but make sure that you won't delete this from here. I mean, let's unzip this. Now, can we just put it in some legitimate folder like let's create one folder, say for example, Terraform on C:, and can we put it there? Do you have access there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so let's keep it here. Let's not keep it in any of the other folders, right? So Terraform, yeah. Let's go inside this. Let's put that folder. Let's unzip it here. So extract all. Extract. Perfect. So there is only this exe. Let's take this exe out from here. Go there in that folder. Go there in that unzipped folder. Yes. Do Control X. And put it in that Terraform folder. Let's get rid of this folder basically. Yes, let's get rid of these two folders. Perfect. So we have a Terraform here and this is what we only need. Okay, so it's very easy installation for Terraform. Now what we need to do is we want to access Terraform from any of the paths, right? Now we have this Terraform exe in this C: Terraform folder. Now in order to access this exe from the command prompt, we always need to be in this directory by doing cd. That we do not want to do. We want to access it from anywhere, right? So for that we need to add this path in our path environment variable. Now let's go to the environment variables. Just go to the start and type environment variables. Yes, go there.
Okay.
Yeah, just a minute. Let's get it open.
One second. Yeah.
Okay, now let's go to the path environment variable, which is the second entry in the top section, user variable section. Do you see a path entry there? Yes, click there, edit, and let's add that path over here. Let's click on new and paste the path of this directory. Yes, over there. Let's go there again.
Should I go till here or?
No. You have got the path. Yes, that's the path. Control C. Yeah, let's click on this new button here. Paste the path. Correct. Click on OK. Click on OK. Click on OK. Perfect. So it's all set. Now open a CMD. Correct. And type Terraform and hit enter. Okay, it is not able to access terraform.exe. Let's make it terraform.exe. No, I think it should be a small t. Terraform.exe. Let's make it terraform.exe. Can you just show me, just just get this command from outside of this view, and can you just show me the name of this Terraform? Are we making any mistake here? Terra. Oh, it's good. Maybe. Okay, let's check the environment variable there. Let's go to the environment variables again.
Yeah, sure. I will also just try doing the same in my personal laptop.
Sure. But let's go to the environment variables just for a second.
Yeah, sure.
And can you just show me that path environment variable one more time?
Yeah.
Edit. SQL and Terraform it is. That's perfect.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to do is I just wanted to open this.
Yes, that's what I was also about to suggest you, that let's start this with administrator and let's try, or let's add it into the system environment variable section. Currently we have added it into the user variable section. Now can you just click on OK here? Just click on OK.
Second, I'll just try this way and if it works.
Perfect. Okay, it works. So we can also add this environment variable in the system section. Yeah, just locate the path environment variable here in this system variable section. PATH you will see somewhere. Just click on that variable part and type PA. Yes, exactly. Edit and just do new and paste the path. Correct. Hit click on OK, click on OK, click on OK. Restart the command prompt. Let's not use this one because the existing command prompt instance doesn't get the changes. We need to restart it to get the changes. Now terraform.exe. Correct. So we are able to access the Terraform. Now that's good. Now let's create a blank directory somewhere on C:, again. So let's go to the C:, and let's say here Terraform script, something like that. Let's create a folder there. Let's not use spaces. Because unnecessarily it will create a problem in providing the path if we need to. Yes. And let's open a VS Code now. Visual Studio Code. Correct. Now let's go to the file, open. Do you see open folder there? Correct. Now let's open that folder which we created just now, Terraform scripts. Yes, select folder. Correct. So this is where, yes, just click on yes, I trust. Okay, so this is where we would be working. Okay, in this Terraform scripts folder we would be creating different Terraform scripts, like for say creating a EC2 instance. Mainly creating the EC2 instance is where you are going to look at. Now let's install one extension, Terraform extension here. Do you see the on the left hand side? Do you see the different buttons there on the left hand side? Yes, go there and type Terraform. Yes, Terraform configuration language support. Yes, let's click on install. And also Terraform, HashiCorp Terraform. Do you see HashiCorp Terraform? Correct. Install this plugin as well. Okay, let's wait until it gets installed. Yeah, I think it is installed now. Perfect. Now let's go to the Terraform directory. Correct. Now here let's create a simple file. Now I'll share my screen and then I'll explain you the details further. Okay. Let me share my screen now. Are you?
Yeah.
Just stop your screen. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Correct. Now let me share my screen and then I'll explain you the things further. Okay, first of all, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let me create a directory C DevOps patch, and I'll create one folder called Terraform scripts. Okay, so this is the folder. I'll start a VS Code. And I'll open that folder. Perfect. So this is the folder. Now basically Terraform is a tool which allows us to automate the creation of different resources on cloud platforms like Azure, AWS. So to start with, we are going to see how to create resources on AWS. So how does Terraform creates the resources? So it needs to communicate with the cloud platform, right? Like AWS, Azure, it needs to communicate it with so that it can create the different resources. So how does it communicate? So Terraform, they have something called as providers. So I'll show you Terraform providers. See, this is what they use. Providers are nothing but the plugins, you can say, through which they communicate. The Terraform communicates with the AWS platform. So for that, AWS is the provider. For Azure, there is a provider called Azure. For GCP or Google Cloud platform, this is the provider. Then Alibaba Cloud, this is the provider. Oracle Cloud, this is the provider. So to communicate with different cloud platforms, Terraform has providers. Using those providers, it communicates with those with those platforms, and it creates the resources there. Now let's create a simple file Okay, I'll create a very simple file and I'll just, yeah, so here I'll create one folder first. I'll create, so I'll say create EC2 instance .tf should be the sorry, this is the folder, right? So sorry, let me just rename this folder. I'll just say this create EC2 instance, and inside this I'll create a Terraform file. Now the first file which we will create is providers. .tf should be the extension. Now here we are going to mention the provider. Now the two extensions which we just installed, so they will highlight the syntax of the Terraform for us. Okay, so, and the language which we are going to use is like a YAML only, but it's a HCL, HashiCorp language it is, but it's like YAML, okay, or JSON you can say. Now let's define a provider. So I'll define a provider. So which provider we are going to use? AWS. Okay, now here we need to configure our access ID, secret, and our region. So access ID, access key. So we will specify access key here. Then secret key, we will specify a secret key, and region. So US East 2 is the region. Secret key and access key, we need to take our secret and access key. I'll just now log into my AWS console. Right, so this is the AWS console. Okay, now where we can get the access and secret key, I already have it, but still I'm showing you like from where you can get it. So here you have to click here and go to the security credentials. And inside this section you can find the access and secret key. Yeah, let it open. It's taking a long. Yes, so here, yeah, I'm just closing this. Okay, so if we scroll down here, so here it is. So we have got the access key and secret key. So this is my access key and I have my secret key also. So now I'll take it from some other Terraform script which I have. So this is a, sorry. So there is a secret key I have. Yes, I already have my secret key somewhere. Just a second. So these are my access and secret keys. This is my access key and this is my secret key. That's it. Okay, so we have configured our provider here. So this is what you need to do first. You have to configure the provider with the help of your access, secret key, access key and region. Now once we are done with that, now what we will do is we need to open a CMD. Okay, so you need to be in this directory where you have that provider.tf, and you have to say Terraform init. So what this init will do, it will download the provider, okay, which you have mentioned. Where it will download it from, it will download it from their registry. It's like a Docker repository, or it's like a Maven repository. So this registry, Terraform registry, which contains the different providers, different Terraform modules which the people have created. You can see providers, modules. Modules are nothing but functions in our programming languages, like reusable code is what modules is. Providers, as I just told you, like providers are used to interact with different cloud platforms. So those providers, reusable modules, they are all available here on this Terraform registry. So as soon as you will do this Terraform init, it will start the initialization step. It will create in this directory from where I have executed this init. It will create one directory here in some time. Let it install the, see, it is installing the HashiCorp/AWS. So this is the name of AWS, is the name of the provider. HashiCorp is the registry, and this is the version v5.30.0. This is the version of that provider. And you can see there is a .terraform folder created. Inside this you will see one folder called providers, and inside this you will see the name of the registry, registry.terraform.io. Inside this HashiCorp. So this is like Maven repository, if you remember. In the Maven repository, local repository, also it creates a directory structure based on your group ID, artifact ID, version, and inside that you get your jar file, right? So like that only here. So this is the group ID, artifact ID, and this version, and this is the plugin, you know, which the Terraform uses to interact with our our AWS cloud. Okay, then we can, now we have hard coded the access key and secret key here. So instead of that, what we can do is we can create one file called variables. So let's create a file. And in this we will create different variables. So variable, so you can give a name as access key. This is a good practice to keep the variable names in capital letters, but it's not necessary. You can keep the names with small also. And you can provide the, so you can say default. So default value you can provide. Okay, then variable secret key. I'll just keep all capital secret key. Okay, and I'll specify the values here, but let me create the variables first and then region. Or I'll say AWS underscore region, AWS underscore secret, AWS underscore access key. Right? So you can specify the type of a variable also. So this is going to be a string. So I'll say string. Here also I can specify the type. Right, and then we will specify the values here instead of providing those values in providers. So I'll just take this value and put it in my variable value. Secret, and this is the region. Okay, so values are defined in this file now, and here how can we access them? We can access them with var dot AWS access key, var dot AWS secret key, and var dot region. So you don't need to hard code your values in this file. Okay, you can create a file variables.tf. You can give any name, by the way. This need not be a variables.tf. This could be any name. This file also could be with any name. Need not be a providers.tf. What is important is this resource which you define. Doesn't matter what is the name of the file. Here also what matters is this section, that you are defining a variable. Doesn't matter what is the name of your file, right? So now if you don't define the default values here, now let me just comment this, and let me just delete this folder which we created, this one .terraform. This got created right after we did init. So I have just deleted it, and I'll do the init again. It is taking the details from this log file actually. Okay, let me just hold on for a second. I just wanted to show you something. I'll delete this log file also. So it is downloading the Terraform. Okay, now let me just do Terraform plan. I'll tell you what this plan is. Now here it will ask you for this variable values. So it will say enter your AWS access key value, because we didn't provide the default values. We didn't provide the default values. That's why it is asking a user to put the values now on the command prompt. Okay, that is the main thing. Like if you do not want to store your values in a file, okay, so and you want to take the values at the time of execution. Okay, so what you can do is you can define the variables. Don't specify the default values anywhere in the code. You can specify the region, but it's not a good idea to specify your access key and secret key in a code. Ask the user to enter it at the time of execution of the Terraform script. So you do not have to specify default value. If you specify the default value, then it will not ask you to put the values there, right? So now here you can specify the values at the time of executing the script. So I'll just take it from from my So I'll just take it, Control C, access key, region. Okay, it is asking me for a region. I'll give my region, and it is asking for a secret key. Correct. So what is this plan? I'll explain you later what this Terraform plan is. Once we will start creating the resources, then I'll explain. But the main point I want to make here is two things. One is Terraform init. So what Terraform init will do, it will download the provider, whatever the provider you have mentioned here. It will download that provider and it will create a folder called .terraform. On the left hand side you can see there is a folder called .terraform, and inside this it will download the provider. That is one. Another thing, to work with the AWS cloud using provider, this provider need to be configured with our access key, secret key and region, right? These three parameters are mandatory. Now instead of defining the values for this here hard coded in this file, what we can do is we can define the variables as I have defined it here. So these variables would be defined without any default values for them. Okay, so I have defined the variables without the values. So if you define the variables without any default values, when you will execute the script, a script will prompt the user to provide the values at the time of execution of the scripts. Okay, and how can you access these variable values here? Wherever you are required to provide the values of those variables using var dot. So var dot AWS access key, var dot secret key and var dot AWS region is how you will access them. Okay, and very first what you will do is when executing the Terraform scripts, you will init, you will get the AWS or whatever the provider you have configured, downloaded, and then you will move on, right? Then let's understand this Terraform log file, this one. So what it does is whenever you will download the Terraform, right, so this log, it will mention which version of the Terraform provider you want to use. So even if you say change the version of the Terraform you want to use, so here you can see Terraform init. If I do say, see, now I am doing Terraform init. So what it is saying, see here, reusing the previous version of the AWS from dependency log file. So it is using the version of your provider from this log file, this file. So even if you change the version, no, so I'll just show you. I'll just define some different version, maybe this version I'll define for my provider, 3.50, 3.0. Okay, here. Okay, let me just copy this, put it here. Now, even if I do this, no, I have defined a different version. Now, what it says is, just a minute, it says that okay, version constraint inside provider configuration blocks are deprecated. So they are saying that you cannot specify the version like this now, but just a minute. Okay, but the main point is that the version, when you will init, when you will do Terraform init, the version of the provider which would be used will be the one which is in this lock file. So this lock file basically locks the version for your provider. It will not download even if you specify any other version for your provider. So it will not use that one. It will always be using the version mentioned in this lock file. Okay, so it's like locking your provider version which you would be using from that point onwards, right? So this is what the log file, see, you can see this file is maintained automatically by Terraform init, and manual edits may be lost in future updates. So it is not advisable to manually edit this file, but as soon as you will do Terraform init, it will download the provider, and it will mention that provider's version in this Terraform log file, so that from that point onwards always that version would be used of that AWS provider. Okay, that is this. So the init creates two things. One is this .terraform folder, and it creates this .terraform.log file which specifies the version of a provider. Okay, so that from that point onwards that version would be always used to carry out the different tasks. Okay, so this is the understanding of these three files. These are the main two files rather, a provider and variables. And now whenever you will execute a Terraform plan, so Terraform plan we will talk about once we will start creating the resources. But when you will execute Terraform plan, it will prompt for the values of those variables. It will take those variables, access key and secret key, and it will try to connect to your AWS account using this provided access and secret keys through this AWS provider.